Uh,
49.
Yeah, just do draw it out for us on youtube.com/Jason. Yeah, just draw it out for us, Evan. He can hear us. I know he's acknowledged. His mic went away.
Aha!
There he is.
Oh, there it is.
Sorry. Yeah, it's anyways. So it's gonna be the Niners. The Niners are gonna win the NFC. But they're averaging in the last 5 games 27 points a game, and their defense is averaging only having 10 points a game scored. It's not like it's not a hot take. Go to Vegas and bet. There's no better team to bet on. It will be the 49ers, unless there's an injury that changes the dynamic of the team. That defense is unstoppable. Now, on the other side of the spectrum, the Vikings are frauds. I said they'd beat
their point differential is -3.
Is it really?
They have a negative point differential. They're 10-3.
I literally said that they would win their division and then lose in the playoffs. And guess what's coming?
That was my prediction too. But it was to the Packers. I thought they'd win the division and then the Packers would beat them in the first round. Was my preseason prediction. I don't know if that's coming though.
Nah, it's not.
The first part of that prediction might be coming, but the second part.
The Cowboys almost lost to the Texans. You know what I mean? The Cowboys had as many points scored on them by the worst team in the NFL that the Niners have had scored on them in 3 weeks.
You're not going to like this, Evan. I think the Cowboys can win the NFC. I think they're one of 3 teams.
I don't care about your opinion because you're constantly wrong when you reach for these teams. You're like, oh, maybe. No, every time.
The Cowboys, I think there's real money. If you want to throw some money at the Cowboys winning the NFC, I think it's a good idea to do that right now.
My Venmo is Evan-Sowards. Just when you lose, send it to me. I'll bet whatever you want.
At the beginning of the season, we talked about predictions, and you said, I can't buy into the Chargers because they're the Chargers. I don't care what the talent looks like. I feel that way about Mike McCarthy.
Oh,
yeah.
I feel that way about Mike McCarthy.
He's been in a Super Bowl.
Yes, he's won a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
He has won a Super Bowl. And then since then, I saw him lose a million heartbreaking playoff games.
Don't talk. Hey, don't talk to a Packers fan about the Super Bowl that they won. That's offensive.
Who's number 1 in defensive DVOA at this point now? Ahead of the Niners, it is the Dallas Cowboys. Dallas Cowboys, Tony Pollard's a great player.
And
they're number 4 in DVOA as a whole.
If they played tomorrow, who's going to have the better defense? Who, if you're betting?
Who do I trust in a playoff game, though? Brock Purdy or Dak Prescott? I'm going Dak.
Dak is...
Do you think you're beating them back-to-back years in the playoffs? Do you think?
Without a doubt. If the Niners played the Cowboys tomorrow, they'd win by at least 2 touchdowns.
I think the Cowboys are my favorite in the NFC right now. Because I just think the Eagles are too easy. The Eagles have not been tested at this point.
How can you possibly prove to me from data, scheme,
best defense
talent,
in the NFL right now? And they're getting better on offense. Tony Pollard's starting to pop. They might sign OBJ at the end of the season here. I think everything's coming up Dallas.
T.Y. Hilton.
Yeah.
I think you're only saying this to piss me off. It's an absurd... It's an absurd
Tyron Smith is coming back.
I know, the Cowboys are coming.
I'll lose my voice again if I have to.
They're the White Walkers of the NFL. They're just on the periphery. They're ready to go.
They will immediately die the second they get on screen.
Well, hold on. We don't know how it goes in the books. We only know how it went for the Night King on HBO. We don't know how it's going to go in the books. A Song of Ice and Fire could be about the ice winning out, and that could be the Cowboys.
All I'll say is this, because I should have told this story earlier, but this is why this only helps why I'm so confident. I was snowboarding in Denver, right?
Yeah, I'm ready for how this ties into the Cowboys.
Oh, you're never going to guess. You're never going to guess this. But I had literally the most subtle long sleeve zip up on with overalls. So all you could see was just this little 49ers logo here.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. And I'm waiting in line at the bathroom, and this giant man looks down at me. He's like, "Oh, you're a Niners fan? You know, what do you think about Brock Purdy?" I was like, "Hey, man, he played well last week. I hope he plays well again." He's like, "Oh, I used to coach him," and I'm like, "Wait, what's your name?" Matt
Campbell. How's it going?
Sage Rosenfeld.
Oh,
wow.
Who also was a quarterback under Kyle Shanahan.
Yeah.
And so me. Immediately, I was like, Okay, first off, great to meet you. I've heard, I've heard a lot of great things about what you've done lately in training and coaching. Kyle Shanahan's an asshole, isn't he? And he goes, "Oh yeah." And I asked him too. I was like, my theory is that Kyle and Jimmy really butt heads, and that Kyle specifically doesn't let Jimmy do a lot of things. For that, amongst some other reasons, he didn't touch that with a 10-foot pole. He just changed the subject. No, but the one thing that we did talk a lot about was he, was talking about Brock Purdy and how he coached him. And he goes, he's the real deal. And I don't mean that in like he can be a player in the NFL. He goes, he might be the next Kurt Warner. He really is that special.
Wow.
He goes, I've been waiting for him to play. So I have a hard time betting on a quarterback that is the third, the last person drafted in the NFL, third quarterback at the QB room before all the injuries.
No rookie quarterback's ever been in the Super Bowl.
Right. I don't care about that though, because what are the odds of a team with a rookie quarterback having this defense?
I mean, Pittsburgh with Ben Roethlisberger is pretty close.
Yeah, and they won 2 Super Bowl rings.
Yeah,
and
but it took later. Yeah, it wasn't year one. He was a first-round pick.
Anyways, after watching Brock and how he has played the last 2 weeks, looking at Sage, and I feel like I know people fairly well, and the confidence in which he looked at me and was like, "No," he's going to be more than just, he'll play well under Kyle. Like, I think he can be special, like better, like the way he said it. I was like, "All right, man, we'll see." And then he went out and he's put up 35 points against Tom Brady. So I'm taking the Niners.
I thought you were about to say, and Sage went out and just shredded the Alps. Like he was just out there.
360 methods. No, but like I'll take this Niners team over anybody in the NFC.
Where do you stand? You're the tiebreaker here, Theo.
I like Dallas a lot, actually. If it wasn't for McCarthy, I would maybe pick them. I think they probably have the number one scoring offense since Dak has been back. I don't have that number off the top of my head, but I'm sure it's pretty close to number one since Dak has been back. On top of a defense that can totally wreak havoc. I mean, Micah Parsons is fantastic. Tank Lawrence is fantastic. Like you said, they're number one in DVOA. I would say if I'm comparing them to the Niners defense, the only flaw I can see in the Niners defense, and it popped up multiple times in the Dolphins game, is sometimes they can struggle to kind of put a roof on everything. Hufanga is occasionally a very good, extremely electric player. But sometimes I don't know what the hell that guy is doing.
Yeah, he'll be 49ers fans know it.
He'll be flying downhill, and there'll be a wide receiver flying uphill. And so that's really the only flaw I can, and building, and in the exact middle of the defense, the two defensive tackles, like you can run on the 49ers right up the gut. They don't have.
Yeah, but Eric Armstead's back now.
Eric Armstead is back now.
If you've watched Eric Armstead the last two games, he is already. I mean, there was a play where Bosa was rushing from the inside left, and Eric was going down the middle as he always does. And it was also the play where Drake Jackson batted a ball down. And I'm just like, you're just watching all of it in real time. It's like, it's poetry. It's art. Like
you're right. Armstead is back now. And you could say the same thing for the Cowboys too, right, where their interior defensive line isn't like super amazing or anything, and their corner outside of Trayvon Diggs and also get picked on. So I guess maybe I would take the 49ers defense slightly, and I would take the Dallas offense slightly with Dak. I really would. Like Purdy, I like Purdy too. Purdy, it doesn't surprise me that he is a good backup at this point. Like, who knows what he will be? But when I watched him I think I have a tweet before the season where I'm like, I don't know if Purdy's any good, but this guy's going to be like relevant in some way in the NFL before the draft, I think was how I worded it. Cause he's just got too much talent to not be. I don't know if you've ever seen the throw where he's like legitimately parallel to the ground and he throws it anyway. He's legitimately like, I don't think that got completed, but the fact that he even like had the guts to attempt that and like the coordination to attempt that, like he's a talented dude and he is gutsy and he is kind of, I know when he threw that first touchdown versus Miami, it was like just a little like shovel pass out to the fullback or something. and then he's like just totally scored, and he's like totally just freaking out, like, I'm that epic guy. So it's like, if you've got that kind of talent and that kind of mentality as a backup, you can come in occasionally and make. How many times have we seen, like, Taylor Heineke is like blessed by God himself, and he's just got like aggression and like
they're very similar. And
he's willing to try. He's willing to just like try shit, and sometimes it works. Sometimes it works.
I think they both recognize that they're playing on house money, right? Like he's like, I'm the third quarterback, and two quarterbacks are both injured. Like I've got nothing to lose, and so you know, if
Brock Purdy, if he has a Nick Foles run, I don't know. I'll say the Eagles. I'll just say the Eagles.
It's just too easy for the Eagles. Like, it's just too seamless. It never goes this way. It's too seamless.
The Eagles do worry me after watching them this game yesterday. Like
Hurts is playing at a very high level right now.
I just want to see them down. Like, they got kind of stomped by DC, like at home, where the Washington controlled the ball and just ran it down their throats. Hurts made some mistakes. Like, I don't know. You saw the formula for DC playing keep away. They were able to pick on their secondary. McLaurin, he had a really good day in that one. Like, I don't know, when DC can just go in there and just dominate you the way they did. I mean, it was Nick Sirianni was like livid. I remember him going to the half, like losing it. Like, there's some questions with Philly. I don't think it's a seamless, like they just run through a Niners, Vikings, Cowboys, something gauntlet. I think there's a real possibility they get tripped up.
I think so too, but I'm gonna be a coward and not break the tie, and I'm just gonna say the Eagles.
Okay, there you go.
My Super Bowl pick before the Jimmy G injury was Chiefs 49ers. I thought that the 49ers could do it, but now that they're a little bit more banged up, like I think Purdy, like I said, Purdy's talented. He's got that quirked up backup energy that can, I think, win you some games, but right now, I think the safest pick, and I don't trust McCarthy for Dallas, even though I even like Dallas's roster maybe a little bit more than Philly's. I think they've got that tier 1 edge rusher. I think they're a little bit better against it. Like you said, Philly has been run on this year. There have been games where they just kind of get it shoved down their throat a little bit, and Washington was an example of that. But with the coaching situation in Dallas and the quarterback situation in San Francisco, I'll be boring and I'll say old Philly. But it could really, I think it's just, if it's not one of those 3 teams, I would be shocked. I'd be extremely shocked. So,
and by the way, the one thing now that if we are done with the NFC, the Chargers.
Oh, here we go.
No, I just want it to be known that the Chargers play the Titans, which, by the way, the cheapest seats in the house for that game is going to be $20.